First, there was the one where I wasn't on the right bird. Then, there was the one with shaky freehand footage and frankly, a little too much colorful language that would have worn out the censor button. Yeah, those are Calvin Klein jeans, and it's a long story. Maybe I was being a bit of a perfectionist, but getting a quality turkey hunt on film was proving to be a difficult task. From missed opportunities to hung up birds, I was starting to feel a little bit cursed. I was confident I could get it done, but I was running out of time. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the one with camera issues. I don't want to talk about it. Oh man, this is the third day in a row of getting up at 3:45 like a freaking zombie. It was fine the other 2 days, but I don't know what it is about today, and I actually went to sleep earlier last night. Anyway, that's when you lose your focus. When you're tired, I'm like second guessing everything that I said I was going to do last night, so I'm going to try to get in my mindset from last night and do what I said I was going to do, which is be aggressive today. When I hear birds, I've got a big piece of public land here, so when I hear birds, I'm just going to have to go after them. I've been kind of hunting them like deer. I know the spot where they like to cross the creek, and that's where I'm going to start out, but if I don't feel like birds are moving around and they're just gobbling like crazy like they were yesterday, I'm going to try to make a play on them. So this creek bottom is always flooded out, so there isn't a lot of vegetation on the creek bottom floor, which makes it difficult to try to make a play on a bird. You feel like you're out in the open. But I'm on the other side of the creek today, and on the top side of it, there is some thick stuff. Now, I've got enough gear with me today. I might make a little bit of noise going in there, but we've got some wind. So we'll hear a bird, get on it, kill it by like 6:30. That'd be cool. All right. Multiple gobblers were roosted just on the other side of the high line in trees directly above the creek. It was a waiting game to see which side of the creek they would pitch down towards. Birds fly down away from me, and immediately I know this isn't going to be a quick kill. The birds are henned up right off the roost and not answering my calls, so I decide to get into a shouting match with a couple of hens. Before I know it, two hens have closed the distance. I had called potentially the same two hens in not far from this spot a couple of days before, and just like that day, they failed to lead any toms in my direction.
hands walk off and start working their magic, bringing the toms closer. But with the sun coming up directly in my face and with the bird still far enough away, I knew I had to try and make a move to the shadows so I didn't blow my cover. I quickly call off this set because in this position, a tom would literally have to walk past my calls to die. So I crawl in further to try and call one across the creek. And almost immediately, they close the distance. A solo tom breaks from the pack and crosses the creek about 80 yards in front of me. Another hang-up. I catch glimpses of him working the edge of the creek but not getting any closer. shuts up for a bit, and without a visual, I feel like the hens have led him astray. But I know he knows I'm here, so some clucking and 3 soft yelps to make it seem like I'm leaving reveal that he's committed.
Finally, got it. That was a bird earned. Excuse the boogies. I don't know how much footage I had, but I couldn't take any chances. Don't let anybody tell you you can't call a bird from across a creek, because I've done it multiple times this year and it's not me. I've hunted these birds like deer this year. I've basically just pattered them and trying to figure out their travel corridor, and they love this creek just like any turkeys love creeks, but there's only specific areas where they like to cross, finding tracks in the mud. And then this high line right behind me, they always like to cross here. And I was sitting on the other side of the creek and they were just outside of me because I was sitting more towards the field. Birds were hammering all morning. Started early, stopped, started again. I must have had 4 or 5 birds just rocking this way. I don't even know what this thing is, to be honest with you. I really don't. He was fanning out there. Looks like a big bird from when it was coming in, but it could have a tiny little beard and be a jake, but I don't care. That was a fun hunt. All right, let's go see what we got. if you've never hunted for these birds before or even been around them, yes, you have to get up early. This morning I was up at 3:15, but man, when the wood starts waking up and you hear them gobbling, I had gobbling on and off pretty much all morning, and they're just beautiful. And the colors on these things are unreal. They might have a face only a mother can love, but they got a good body. I saw a raccoon, I saw 3 otters, 2 hens within 5 yards, and then at about 8:30 the gobbler started rocking. This creek bottom is so wide open, it is hard to make a play on them, but they use it like a road map. We've got big ridges on each side, and it just dumps everything in here. See a ton of deer in here and a lot of turkeys as well. So turkeys start gobbling probably 300 to 400 yards away. And they were just there, and they'd start and stop and start and stop all morning, and I thought, should I make a play? So I moved maybe about 75 yards in. They were still gobbling, so I knew I didn't spook them. Then they shut up. And then I moved again, and then they started gobbling again. Then I started giving them some more calling. Once I started cutting, that seemed to really work them up. Cutting with the slate specifically. I'm getting better at my mouth call. I'm by no means an expert. So 2 birds were rocking to the west and 2 more were rocking to the east. And then I heard this one further to the east, and he seemed to kind of split off. And he seemed to be responsive to my calls, and he started coming in pretty hard. And he hung up at about 80 yards, and I just played the quiet game. My decoy was out along the creek bank, not in a very visible spot. So I don't think he saw it the first time. So as he started to work off, I heard him gobble one more time further away. So once I let out 3 yelps, he gobbled, and I knew he was coming in. It's a nice bird, and like I said, I worked hard for this thing. I'm not into aging birds too much. He's got some pretty decent hooks on him. I'd say probably about 1 inch, maybe a little bit longer. All I know is that he's not getting any older. Got this old 12 gauge that I've killed every bird with. It's my dad's old gun. I could buy a new gun, but it's getting to the point where this gun's meaning a lot to me, and I've never missed with it. The only thing I wish is that I had more people here. Sometimes it's fun to be out here solo, but sometimes it is tough to be out here by yourself. I think it makes you a good hunter. You can't bounce ideas off other people, so maybe that's a disadvantage for you, but man, it feels good when you get it done, especially when you get it on film. So let's get the hell out of here and get this bird topside.